We're going to talk about the interval of a second. When you read music, you have to look at how the music notes move up or down on the staff to know whether you should play up or down on the keys. An interval is the word we use for the distance between two notes. When two notes are the interval of a second apart, they move from line to line, from a line to the next space, or from a space to a line. So here you see a second where you have the line note played first, and above it a space note played next. So we would count 1, 2, that's a second. We call those melodic seconds because they're played one after the other, like singing a melody. Here we see them together on the same stem. This means you would play both of these notes at the same time, right next door to each other. These are called harmonic seconds because they're played together like notes in harmony. Now here's a little exercise. We'll go through that in a second. But first let's talk about writing the seconds. So here's my starting note. It's a line, and I want to see what it would look like to write seconds. So you want to make sure that you write the notes going melodically, and let's write them going up this time. So if I start on this note, this is G, we should know that. My next note is going to be a space note right here in this space. Make sure it doesn't touch the lines or cross the lines. Now my next, a second up from that, is a line note, and then a second up from that is a space note, and a second up from that is another line note. So it always goes every other note, line, space, line, space, line. Now in my second example, I start with a space. So I'm going to go space, line, space, line, space. So again, it always goes every other note. In this final example here, we start with a line, but we're kind of close to the top of the staff, so let's make our seconds go down. So now we're going to have line, space going down, line, space, line. So here's our seconds. They can either go up or down. We can also call them steps because on the piano you're just stepping from one note to the next. So let's look at this exercise in the middle of the page. It says start on G, then it says play up a second. So that's going to be right next door. What note did I go to? A. Then it says play up a second. What note did I go to? B. Then it says play down a second. What note did I go to? Back to A. Play down a second. I went to what note? G. Then it says go up a second. And what note did you end on? The answer should be A. So you can fill in the note A there. You can do this at home. Have somebody ask you to go up or down by seconds or steps. So start on whatever note you want. Let's start on C. And we're going to go up and down. So we're going to say up a second, up a second, up a second, down a second, down a second, up a second, up a second, up a second, and where did you end? You ended on G. So you can play that game going up or down, starting wherever you want to start and seeing where you end up.